experts here. I really want you to be able to hear from them, everything from these market highs that we're experiencing, whether that makes sense or not, what's going on across the world, and also what's going on in cryptos. We've had Jeffry Turnmire on talking about the halving event that's coming up. And Jeffry Turnmire's even talked about kind of the bull run that the cryptos have had this year. Some of us have kind of forgotten about it because we had all that going on with that one guy that just got sued today. I saw the headline, Bankman Fried. That's what I call him. I know that's not how you pronounce his name, but to me, that's more appropriate, Bankman Fried. So we got that going on. But we want to hear from everybody here. But of course, you all know that there's risk in the market, and you always, need to know whatever you're trading before you ever click that mouse. And that's why I got these guys here, so they can help explain to you how they're looking at the market. So maybe you can pick up some tips and tricks to help get you on the right side. But your capital is at risk when you click that mouse, and you want to try to protect that as best as you can. So because you can lose money. But let's get going with this. Let's find out. Jeffry, Ben, Garrett, let's go. Garrett, I've been following a lot of what you've been writing about, and it's excellent. And I want to encourage everybody to follow that along. We'll get that typed in. But what are your thoughts right now here today with this market at these levels?
Well, we go back to June 1st. That was the last time that momentum had turned positive. And I really could not have projected or predicted that we'd be up at a 453 on the SPY. And if you look at the dailies, it looks like we're oversold on RSI. You had a little bit of a pullback to the 440 to 430 in June. Really, at the end of the day, we'll talk a little bit about this momentarily, but there's just so much capital out there. There's so much money out there. There's so much liquidity. And I don't mean central bank liquidity. I mean, every source of dollar that you can find under the couch, it's all just keeps flowing into this market. So we'll talk about this. But, the one thing that I will state, we spend a lot of time looking on a day-to-day. If you're a trader, you're looking at the day-to-day. You don't look at the long-term charts, the monthly charts, the RSI, the MFI, the MACD, the ADX of this S&P 500 all turned a corner in June. So the long-term perspective here is very, very strong. It looks like we're going to continue to rise. We'll talk about liquidity in a moment.
Excellent. Yeah, I can't wait to get your thoughts on that. I was reading a lot of what you were saying on liquidity, and want to get that really buttoned up for all of our audience. Jeffry Turnmire, what are your thoughts so far of this market?
Well, I think as well as I do that I've been on top of this rise. And while this move from March 13th pullback to now is a little bit overcooked without a pullback, it's all within the parameters of what I talked about all the way back last October. It's not really surprised me one bit. And the only thing that's been surprising is how strong we just keep pushing without getting a 3% pullback, because usually that happens about every 47 days since World War II. That's the average period of time between 3% pullbacks in the S&P is 47 days. That's trading days. And right now we are banging at 87, I think it is, which is a little bit stretching. We could set an all-time new record. That's, entirely in the realm of possibility, but these things, historically we've pulled back by now, and I'm just kind of sitting waiting, putting my hands under my legs, sitting there waiting, watching, being like, wow, this is a heck of a move, and when we get the pullback, it's going to be a doozy, and it's going to freak everybody out.
Yeah, well, I'm interested too, because I think that you've been working on tools to help really kind of pinpoint those kind of pullbacks. Am I right?
Yeah, they're, my new indicator that I've been working on for over a year now. We've named it the volume velocity divergence. So there's a velocity to buying and selling volume in the market that I've been able to uncover and figure out a pattern for. And I need people to help me test out this indicator. And at 1 o'clock, I'm going to go live, tell you where I'm at so far and how you can help me get in on the test and prove this thing out further before we open it up to the public. So if you want a chance to do that, we'll give you a link here later on.
Great. Yeah, really looking forward to that. Well, I want to get your levels a little bit later too, exactly how you're looking at the market, where you just lay it out for us and you say these different levels, what can go. So over the broad markets will be fantastic. All right, Jeffrey, let's turn it over to one of your other favorite topics on cryptos. And Ben, let's get this conversation going. Everybody's very interested in what you're going to share today when it comes to, the halving going on, the all the crises that we've had in the cryptos, what we can look forward to, what are the fundamentals. But you were sharing with me earlier too, and I know when we had Tony Saliba on, if y'all remember, Tony Saliba was talking about all the banks that were getting into crypto, and now BlackRock applying, as you had mentioned, for Bitcoin ETF. So I guess it's not going away. What can you tell us about cryptos in the past year? Ben?
This for me, Celeste?
Yes, it is. It's for you, Ben.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were going to Jeffrey. Thanks for having me again, Celeste. It's exciting time. I think Sam Bankman fraud, as some people in the chat have commenting about, again, Sue this morning, he's in a lot of trouble. But I think a lot of the negativity is behind us now, with last year, FTX going under, Celsius, Luna, there was so many big crypto assets that went to zero, and there was a lot of bearishness in the market. And then, off the December lows about 6 months ago, Bitcoin's rebounded off around $16,000, and we're sitting right now at around 30,000. So up about 90% in the last 6 months. And yet not many people are talking about it. And now we've got the BlackRock ETF with their application. And then also Citadel and Fidelity have just launched their own crypto exchange called the EDX exchange. A lot of this is going pretty quiet under the market. XRP has just been announced that it's not going to be, well, initially the SEC is saying it's not a security. So that's been bullish as well. And then with the halving coming up, the 4-year cycle, which I'm going to be talking about tonight, coming up in April. Yeah, I think it's a really cool time to start getting your portfolio sorted. Yeah,
well, looking forward to hearing a lot more about that here in just a little bit, Ben, and so glad that you came back and people are typing in, all-star cast today, and I agree. So let's keep it going. Let's turn back to you, Jeffrey, now, and give us more specific levels on markets. And even if you could pull up a Bitcoin or two or something along those lines, show us that too. We're here to learn, and we got, I got my notepad ready. Let's go.
Yeah, let me do a screen share real quick. There we go. Just show off this kind of indicator real quick, just a little preview. This is a live market chart of the SPY right here. This is what it does for you. It gives you a sell entry right there, gives you a target price and a stop price all right there. So spells it out crystal clear, even draws a level right on the chart at the target. So if this is something that you might be interested in, stay tuned. I'll go live at 1 and talk about that. But S&P 500 right here, I had this big blue arrow and this big line that's been on here for months, right at 45.99. This is a 1618 extension of this whole move up right here, this correction and this pull, this launch. I gave it a low probability to just grind on higher just because of the pullbacks that we had seen on the way up so far, but it was still possible. And we're right there, right at it. Now, what's interesting about that level, it also corresponds with the high we saw last March and April, like 15 months ago. So this right here is likely going to be a significant resistance spot and a point from which we can turn down. Now, 3% down, that's not a long way. It barely takes us back to where we were in June. So, like I said, 3% pullbacks. Here's the chart right here. We usually see these, like I said, on average, 47 days in between pullbacks. Median is 38 days for those that are statistic nerds. When I first pulled this chart up, we were 73 days. Now we're at 90 days, 88, 80, 87, 88, 89. I lose track on keeping this updated every day, but we can set a new record. 300 was the record so far. I mean, we could go 300 days without getting a pullback. So, the market can stay irrational longer than we can all stay solvent, probably. So just keep it in mind. That's a famous quote from a famous trader right there. Yeah. All right. So where might we pull back? That's the big question. The biggest pullback that I see possible right now, where I would want to see support for continued bullishness into the end of the year, would be back down here to this 4,100, possibly 3,900, this little orange box right here, right there. That would be the deepest. Now, what I really kind of expect is just a retest of this August 22 high, a year ago high right there at 4,300. Pull back to there and we can launch off, go all-time new high potentially into the end of the year. That'd be pretty amazing. And a lot of people haven't been looking for that until just the last few weeks. Now, what I want to hear is that narrative go back to, oh my gosh, everything's burning down, sell, sell, sell. And then it frees up the market to go higher again. Otherwise, we're just going to keep grinding, making incremental higher highs this year. So that's really where I see it. And NASDAQ is looking a little more bearish right now, actually. If we jumped over and looked at the futures chart and zoomed it up into the 30-minute here, we've actually set up a bearish pattern for continuation lower. And those immediate lower numbers, let me turn off that new indicator there. Those immediate lower numbers, probably 15,500 for support. And if you're like, JT, what the heck? NQ, that's just the NASDAQ futures, like QQQ, divide these numbers by 41, and you can get the QQQ prices. So below that, 15,400 is the next extension. We could be there today, maybe early next week. Keep an eye on it. As long as we're below this 30-minute roadmap line we turned down this morning. I kind of covered that this morning on my YouTube show that we may turn down there. That sets us up for going lower. So be careful. Watch where your money is and know your time frame too, because if you're trading on the monthly time frame, we're going up right now. Nothing says we're not. If you're trading 30-minute time frame, we're probably going to do this correction. 3%, 5% pullback would be totally standard and normal, and might freak a bunch of people out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Well, I love your indicator that you're going to be showing a little bit later today. And in general, if people want to follow you, make sure, can we get your YouTube out there? Make sure everybody has a chance to
Oh yeah, I'll throw it in the chat.
Throw that in there too. So great. All right. Well, let's keep it going. Garrett, you've been all over the globe. You've talked about a lot of global things. You've talked about emerging markets. You talked about Janet Yellen's nice little dance when she landed in China. You've talked a lot about inflation, cracks in the economy, this liquidity issue. Really want to get this nailed down as well. And you've even talked about lizards.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, briefly, the lizards is you want to really have a good understanding of what's going on in the breakdown of U.S. Legal systems. They are trying to shut down parts of new drilling for the Permian if they are able to name this one particular small lizard an endangered species. Now contrast that with a law or something that was done in the 9th District about a week ago, where they were Native Americans were suing to prevent drilling of lithium in the mines between or in the mountains between Nevada and Oregon. The 9th District came back and said, nope, sorry, good luck. We're going to need that lithium. That's why we shut down the XL pipeline. That's why, they're going after, it was a tribal issue. So there's just nothing in this, political world right now where there's consistency, and there's lithium in those hills. So we're going to go get it. Right. Aside from that, I think the big story right now, when I first came on here, I was with Roger, and it was the beginning of the year, and people were saying, where's the market going to be? Where's the market going to be? I think that was like January 2nd that we had that conversation.
Yep.
And I said, I think the S&P 500 is going to hit bottom out at 3,200. And then momentum turned positive the next day, and I couldn't figure out why. And we had that rip your face off rally that started in January. And then the realization set in. Today is the six-month anniversary of Mr. Burry coming out and telling everybody to sell.
Yes.
And at the time I noted, well, liquidity has been expanding since October. You had the pivot by the central bank in England. You had the United States Federal Reserve step off the gas on mortgage-backed securities. Bank of Japan added $1 trillion. Bank of China with its reopening. So this market really took off. And there was a realization among a lot of shorts somewhere around mid-February that there was a lot of money sloshing through the system. Now, yes, we did have that banking crisis, but once that was all, again, another excuse for us to add more capital into the system through not a bailout, but some sort of lending program through the Fed, which was definitely an expansion of its balance sheet. This market has just continued to move higher. And then if you look into the beginning of June, China, again, adding more capital. Now, China's liquidity has drained up a little bit in the last couple of weeks. I believe they cut by 1.2 trillion. They're trying to shore up the yuan. Yellen travels to Japan, to China, does her mushrooms, does her dance. But there seems to possibly be some sort of accord in play here. And the expectation moving forward is it's not just liquidity is not the Federal Reserve. It is all central banks. It is 80 to 90 countries. It is shadow banking. It is every dollar that is out there that is available. And if we look at the current status of the way that this market operates, the thing that really has my attention right now is this. We are running in the United States, we are running our twin deficits at a level that is unforeseen since 2008, and it is much worse than where we were in 2001. So we have a $2.3 trillion deficit, and our trade deficit is way worse than it was in 2008 and 2001. This is a CBO number that has already been set for debt that is held by the public. Nobody's going to want U.S. debt in 10 years. I'm sorry to break it to you. China's already trying to get off of it. But now the question is the United States or Americans actually going to be able to hold this? You're talking $50 trillion in debt base case in 2032. That does not include the hundreds of trillions of dollars in unfunded liabilities. Americans are largely tapped out cash wise. So who is going to end up having to hold all of this debt? You get three guesses, and the first two don't count. It's the Fed. So while everybody's focusing on the Fed, thinking about this conversation of they're going to continue to cut down on their balance sheet, I'm starting to see some people coming out and saying they might double it. And then the question becomes, well, what does that mean for the market? Well, overall, you look at it, the kind of expectation with a massive increase in liquidity and the amount of money that cycles around just refinancing debt, which is what the game is. You're seeing a lot of money move into these risk assets. That's how you end up with Carvana going from $8 to $55. There's no fundamentals here. This is just long in the cycle. And the longer you go in these momentum cycles, the more the shorts are screwed. They've got to start covering. And then just a little bit of news can push this stuff higher. It's why I continue to tell people, watch what the insiders are doing, because when the insiders at Carvana bought last, it was at $7. And it's at 55, and they look like geniuses today. Just other stuff that's kind of got my attention. I'm looking at emerging markets now. Momentum really strong right now. And with if China is easing, you're probably going to see some money pouring into the EEM. That's kind of where my focus is at the moment. Dollar index, we're seeing some projections that the dollar might fall back to the COVID lows. I think it was 90. So if that is the case, lower dollar, more liquidity comes into the system, bullish for stocks for the long term. And then inflation, just keep an eye on the fact that every bit of inflation that drops helps fuel more liquidity into the global system. And you're seeing in the emerging markets less inflation than where we are globally, and obviously in these developed markets. So there seems to be opportunity out there. There's already been a lot of big moves on companies like VLRS, which is a Mexican airline company. You can look to the emerging markets both for income, but also we're probably going to see some steep upside there. I'm with Jeff. I think short term, a little bit of a pullback likely coming. We are overbought. We are kind of in that seasonal period. We do have Jackson Hole coming up. The market is laughing off a rate hike right now. They clearly see what this is. This is fiscally driven. It's going to continue for a long period of time. And reading Cross-Border Capital, their update, they're suggesting that liquidity expansion will go into 2026. So if that is the case, it is the bull market, and it will be a hated one along the way. But you want to make sure that you're a part of it. Jeff's got his finger in the air. What do you got?
Yeah, I wanted to, just recently, like last week, I uncovered a chart that has 98.5% R squared correlation with the S&P 500, and that was global central bank liquidity.
Mm-hmm.
As they expand their global balance sheets all together, it doesn't matter what anyone's doing against the others. Together, it's 98.5% correlated to the S&P going up, and when they pull back, it pulls back. And so that's something to keep an eye on. It just fits right with what you're saying, though.
Yeah,
that global liquidity expansion just keeps pushing everything higher.
And the thing, like I think a lot of us, we look at the current status and we say like, oh, it is irrational. But if that is the case, then it's acting completely rationally. If it is based, heavily on those balance sheets and heavily on liquidity and shadow banking and things along those lines, then it makes perfect sense. And then all of a sudden you sit here and you look at, the status of this market. You've got a lot of people who are afraid to come in off the sidelines. And, if we're sitting here 2 years from now and the S&P 500 is at 5,500, 6,000, they're going to be sitting here. And I mean, when you see a chart like the one that I showed with that exponential move with the Fed, at that point, you have to start having those conversations. Those books where people wrote like Dow 30,000 when the Dow was at 10 and the S&P 5, was at 2,000. They're saying S&P 5,008. Well, this is what it is. And, it's not going to be rational in your mind. But eventually what you find is this is the way the world works. And the way I want to finish on is when it was April and I was trying to make sense of the buy the dip crowd. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, is this driven by zero date options? Is this driven by, algorithms? Is it driven by AI? And then, you listen to somebody who's, following global liquidity and they say, no, it's an expansion of liquidity and the declines of liquidity. And that drives these cycles. And you sit here and you say, can't be that simple. It can't be that simple. And then Jeff just said, well, you just heard the R squared. It's beyond, you're at that 0.98 level. That is beyond statistically significant. And if liquidity is all I got to watch, liquidity is all I will watch moving forward.
Yeah.
I mean, it really was that simple. I was like amazed.
Yeah. Yes. And some people were typing in, Jeffrey. You typed that in there for everybody. Thank you. So yeah,
I don't have a ticker. That was something I had to calculate and, actually pull some other sources to generate that. But it's 98.5% correlated.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Excellent. Great work. Great work. Well, and on that line too, it's like, cause I'm like you guys, I've been long since October, but I'm looking at levels. I'm looking at, where the market is projected to go based on the tape, based on the technicals. And it's like, well, as stinky as the economy was, or seemed to be, it's like, well, you got to be long if you're going to make money. Right. And I made money. I made a lot of money. And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. But hey, I'll take those checks to the bank every single day. I don't have any problem with that. But you made some good points that there are a lot of people who already are feeling, that they have missed out. I talked to somebody the other day, some friends the other day, I couldn't believe it, because they missed out on all this. I'm like, how did you do that? It's like, weren't you watching? And I don't mean to be calloused or mean about it, but it is like, you use the processes that we are bringing to you week after week so that you can try to make money in these markets using these tips and techniques that we're sharing with you. You get involved with these people because they know what they're doing and you write it. And it's like, and I love what you said too, Garrett. It's like the irrationality of the market is actually very rational once you get your head around that. And so those are good words, a lot of really good words. We need to get that posted into the chat here also. Garrett, how people can get involved with you and see you. So there is another market that we're going to spend the rest of the time talking about, and it's the cryptos. And that's why we brought Ben here. He's like our expert. We timed this just perfectly because I have a concern that some other people are going to be feeling like they've missed out on cryptos if they don't pay close attention right now. So just the same way people are feeling now here in July, because they didn't get involved in October, they didn't get involved in December, they didn't get involved in February, they're going to feel like they're missing out. We don't want you guys to do that. We want you to be educated and informed. So let's switch over. And Ben, welcome back. Thanks again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. The stock market is rallying, and I think Bitcoin and crypto is about to have its light as well. So super excited. Do you want me to jump straight into it, Celeste?
Yeah, I can, because we want to know about the fundamentals. What do we need to pay attention to? What are the setups? What do people like us who are more educated in the stocks and the options and that sort of thing, what do we need to know? And what's the best way for us to get that knowledge and get in the know so that we can take advantage of these markets as well? Because you're right. The banks are in it. Everybody's in it. We need to be in it too. So let us know.
100%. No, I'm super excited. And I mean, this space moves so fast for most people that are especially investing in the stock market, have a business, working, have a family. It can be super difficult to stay across crypto. So today I'm really going to walk you through a few different things. It's really going to just break down this market to give you a good insight as to what's going on. And really, you're going to walk away at the end of this with your own crypto strategy. And, we work with thousands of clients across the world, get into crypto and actually succeed. And 90% of people that lose in crypto don't have a strategy, and it's really going to be the difference between win or losing. And the reason why now is the right time is because crypto runs in 4-year cycles, and we're going to talk about that due to what's called the Bitcoin halving event, and this only happens literally every 4 years, and that's coming up in April next year. So the bull market is on the horizon. We're going to talk about a few charts today, and this session is really aimed for those people that don't have all the information for crypto. It's really for those people that want to seriously make long-term wealth, that don't want to listen to the people online that are throwing different cryptocurrencies out there and trying to make $1 million overnight. A lot of that is just a lot of nonsense. So today I'm going to walk you through how to create that strategy. I'm going to show you where we are in the market, show you why you haven't missed the boat, and at the end there's going to be some 3 altcoin sectors that my team, our analysts, have been looking at that we think have significant growth potential for the upcoming 4-year cycle. So stick to the end. We're going to share that as well. And quickly, for those people that haven't seen my last episode, which was on ATP, which was a little while ago, I run a company called Collective Shift, where we're Australia's biggest crypto insights and analysis company. So I've been in crypto for around 7 years now. We worked with over 10,000 investors globally. And I'm passionate about helping people get into crypto. This was actually one of my first businesses. This was about probably 15 years ago. It was called Wireless World, the idea of owning assets that didn't have cords. As that was kind of the first foray into technology. And then my real business that I started when I was 15, I was a sportswear apparel company. We were manufacturing sports uniforms in China and Pakistan, and we were sending tens of thousands of dollars a month, hundreds of thousands of dollars every quarter internationally. And we're losing so much money on fees in the Forex exchange. And that's where I first discovered an alternative payment system. That's where I came across Bitcoin. So here's me moving to the mainland of Australia. I live on a little island just below Melbourne called Tasmania. And we went around the country in 2017 and taught people about Bitcoin. And this was a really crazy time back in 2017. The market was a lot different to where we are today. And then 3 years ago, I launched my company, Collective Shift. As I mentioned, now we help over 1,000 people across the world really take their portfolio to a next level and without needing the time to do it all themselves. So we educate and provide those insights and analysis to people. And last year I was really lucky to do a TEDx talk, the first one in Australia on cryptocurrency and digital assets. So super excited to be with you all tonight tonight my time. And we're gonna really dive into where we are in the market and really give you the information and knowledge that 90% of investors don't have. Right? Where do you get your crypto information from? Most people get it from influencers and people on YouTube. And the reality is these people online, are providing entertaining content, but not necessarily research backed. That's why so many people lose, because they just put out so much crap investment wise, right? A lot of them are getting paid to promote tokens. There's under the table deals. There's pump and dumps. It's just the Wild West. And tonight I'm going to share with you a few stories about how our members have really been able to take it to a whole new level, like Reese, who 50x'd his investments from Collective Shift. He's a busy guy. He's a truck driver, and 50x his investments by using some of our research reports. Collective Shift. We work with some of the world's leading brands across Australia and the US. About 40% of our clients are actually in the US. It's been an exciting time. So what we're going to jump into now is, like, a lot of you may think you've probably missed the boat. Like Jeffry and Garrett were talking about in the stock market world. For those that have maybe sat on the sidelines, thought we're going to go down further, and you haven't been able to get in the market. A lot of people think about that for crypto. Everyone's got a friend that got into Bitcoin, a long time ago, and you missed the boat. And you hear those stories, people making millions of dollars on Dogecoin or making millions of dollars on Shiba, or all these sorts of crazy stories. But the reality is, people were saying the same back in 2017 when I met the founder of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, and Ethereum was at $80. And people thought they missed the boat because just a few months ago, Ethereum was at $50. Now Ethereum's at $2,000. The reality is these assets are still so young and so have so far to go in their technical, evolution, that sitting on the sidelines and kicking yourself that you missed the boat is only going to hurt more, because in our opinion, it's only going to run further up. And if we look at the size of crypto as an asset class, it is incredibly small. Cryptocurrency combined right now is only worth $1.2 trillion combined. It's about half that of Apple, half that of Microsoft, and about the same size as Amazon. if we think crypto is really going to be adopted the way we think it will be, the asset class is going to grow dramatically. And there was a research report recently put out by one of the leading investment and research firms in the crypto space called ARK Invest. And their price target for Bitcoin at a bullish case is $1.48 million per Bitcoin by 2030. It's currently $30,000. And this is just one screenshot of a 300-page report that they put out around all the use cases and penetration of the different use cases of where they think Bitcoin could go. At a bearish case, they're saying it's going to be $250,000. That's about a 10x from where we are right now at a bearish case over the next few years. It's kind of scary to think how this could run. So the next chart we look at, and this is starting to get an understanding of how crypto runs in 4-year cycles. So if you see here the dotted lines, this is the 4-year cycle, and the 4-year cycle is built around what's called the halving. And the halving is basically when the supply of Bitcoin, the amount that's created each and every day, is halved. Because Bitcoin has a limited supply, there's only 21 million Bitcoin that will ever be created. Right now, there's only about 19 million out there in circulation. They think 4 million of those Bitcoins are lost, and about half of the other Bitcoin that's out in circulation is owned by people that haven't sold in years. So the liquidity, the actual amount of Bitcoin in supply right now is actually quite tight. So you can see these lines and the colored lines, colored dots. As we increase towards the halving, which is the dotted line, each and every time these cycles repeat when we have a push up in price. And this is a stock to flow model. This is just showing a supply and demand model of a limited asset, limited commodity. So you're probably thinking, I don't know when the right time is to invest. And a lot of that comes down to a few basic principles. And that's really buying and holding for a long period and not thinking too short term. So many people buy crypto, it's very volatile, and they panic and they sell really quickly. We think right now is the right time to invest because there's a lot of charts, a lot of macro things lining up. This chart here is what's called the market value to realized value ratio, the MVRV ratio. The black line indicates the price of Bitcoin, and the orange line indicates the value of Bitcoin that's held by people that already own Bitcoin. And you can see the red line here. Every time that orange line goes below the red ratio line, you get an increase in price. You can see the black line of the price rallying every time we get the MVRV ratio below that dollar. And in December last year, we had that same indicator hit. And guess what happened? We went from down 65% in 2022 to up 84% in about 3 months in the start of 2023. And we're sitting about that 84% right now. And if you don't believe me about the 4-year cycles, literally look at this chart here. Every 4 years, 1 out of the 4 years, we have a decline in price, and the other 3 years, we have an increase. We've just finished the 2022 down period, and we've just started the next 4-year cycle, right? And that date is April next year, but that cycle is already kicking into gear. And this has been the same thing over and over and over again. It's the only chart and pattern that continues to hold out. There's been so many theses and theories about how crypto, runs and goes in cycles. And this is the only chart that continues to stay true. Now, if you tie that into everything else that's happening, BlackRock, one of the largest asset managers on the planet, put in their own Bitcoin ETF application, and they've got a 99% strike rate on their ETFs. They've had over 500 approved, right? You can imagine the amount of money that can flow into Bitcoin when retirement funds have access to Bitcoin in a way that's as easy as buying a share. Right now, it's really hard to buy Bitcoin. For those of you that may own it or have thought about owning it, it's really difficult. You got to sign up to Coinbase. You got to figure out how to get verified. Then you got to move it to a ledger. And then you hear that there's exchanges getting hacked and then you lose your crypto. Like, it's kind of scary. BlackRock will do all of the work for you, where they can just sell a share in their fund and you can get exposure to Bitcoin. It's going to be a whole new world for people to get access and exposure. Yeah,
that's great. That's fantastic. Everybody's like typing in a lot of positive comments about what you're sharing so far, Ben, and JT as well, nodding his head. And so this is fantastic. Thanks for sharing all this. Keep going.
No, that's fine. And the other thing here, just around the banks, right? We've always thought the banks were very anti-crypto because Bitcoin is kind of competing with the banks, right? But what happens in any technology or any new space, you know, the institutions want to get in ahead before the retail. They want to get in before us, right? So what we've seen recently is Fidelity, Schwab, and Citadel have all come together to launch their own crypto exchange. They've seen the parties going on. They're seeing all the money that's being made. So now they want in, and that's what they've launched, their own crypto exchange that has gone quite under the radar. So coming back to, our insights and some of the things we want to share with you, Indigo is actually based out of the US. She's a member of ours. And when she joined Collective Shift, she actually doubled her portfolio and increased her knowledge. And she used to listen to everything online on YouTubers, but coming across, she really appreciated the quality of conversation and the knowledgeable people in the space. And here's an example of what we do for our clients. So here you can see a screenshot. This is your own investor hub or your own dashboard. Matt is one of our analysts who posted an asset in the middle of a bear market back in February 20th. Pendle is a DeFi project that we're really bullish on. It recently got listed on Binance and it's rallied over 580% since we posted. So what we do is we literally share with you the investments that we're looking at and the reasons why, so you can go and follow and see yourself as to why we like something. Or back in December when Bitcoin was at 16,000, right? Yeah. Most people online, 90% of the market were saying why they were bearish on the crypto market. They thought it was going to go to 12,000. This was just off the back of the FTX news.
Yeah.
We took the opposite approach. We came out and said, we're buying Bitcoin and here's the on-chain reasons and here's the reasons why we think it's going to go up. And within a matter of days, Bitcoin rallied from 16,000 up to the $20,000 mark and then right up to 30,000 in the coming months. So it's just a couple of examples of like why getting the right advice and the right information can literally be the difference between winning and losing in crypto. Just like you listen to Garrett and, and Jeffrey and other markets, you want to listen to the people that actually know what they're talking about and actually have the incentives to help you, yes. Right? So many people in the education space have incentives not to help you. They have incentives to get paid promotion and advertising and clicks, and that's how they make their money, right? But for us, the way we make our money is through subscription fees and through, actually backing and making sure our members are winning. If they're not winning, we don't win.
Absolutely.
It's aligned incentives.
Yeah.
So let's go and create your own strategy. So you've got a pen and paper or a phone or something. You want to write these things down because this is honestly going to be the difference between you being able to pick the right assets and get in and out of the market at the right time. And I did this the other day. I updated my strategy the other day and just invest in a couple of new altcoins. And this really helped, right? So you want to write down your goals. What are you trying to achieve in crypto? Are you trying to, pay off your son or daughter's tuition fees? Are you trying to buy a new property? Are you trying to retire? What are the goals you're trying to do? For me, I want to buy my parents a house, right? In this next bull cycle. That was the goal for me, right? Then the risk appetite. What's your risk? Do you like risk? Do you mind the volatility, or do you want something that's a lot less volatile? If you understand your risk appetite, it will help you select the different altcoins and the asset selection in your portfolio. Then you want your timeline, right? So how long are you going to be holding crypto for? Is this a 10-year thing? Is this a 2-year thing? Is this a 3-week thing? What's your timeline? Right? Because then that'll allow you to select the assets. Because if your goals that you want to have, you want to build a $1 million portfolio and you have a low risk appetite and you have a 20-year timeline, well, then probably Bitcoin is probably going to be a good investment. But if your goals are to make a lot of money really quickly and you've got a high risk appetite and only 3 weeks, well, then you're probably not going to buy Bitcoin, right? So understanding your goals and your strategy will then help you create that selection of the assets. And then you want to have a sell strategy because in a crypto bull market, prices run very, very quickly. We see 10x, 20x, 50x prices on some of these assets in a matter of weeks. And when you make that money, when you make so much money that quickly, human psychology makes it very, very difficult to actually sell. And I see this all the time. So many people have gone through crypto markets, made a lot of money on paper, but never sold. And that's why you want to have a sell strategy. So having those targets, understanding the prices you want to sell those, and then creating that automation strategy. How are you going to sell those assets? Where are you going to sell them? Are you selling them into Ethereum? Are you selling them into Bitcoin, into US dollars? How are you doing that? And then understanding your psychology is another one. So for me, I don't trade because I'm an emotional guy. That's why I probably want to follow someone like Jeffrey or Garrett because, they're the experts. I look at long-term investing, right? Are you a trader? Are you an investor? Do you need help? Understanding your own psychology will help you wrap that strategy up in a nice bundle. So, sorry, Jeffrey, you're saying something, man? I think you're on mute.
Sorry, that's really key right there, is to the psychology and making sure that you book your profits when you're up like that. That's hand in hand right there. I've been with so many traders that are up huge. They don't know what to do. This is the most money I've ever had. And they were like, I'm afraid to sell it out. Like, don't be afraid, like that, book the profit. Like, I agree with you 100% right there.
Yeah, man. And it can get kind of crazy. Like if you're making that much money, like you think you can make more. And but most people end up not making any because of that same thing. Okay, so moving on, what does a portfolio strategy look like? Well, here's two different, very basic mock portfolios that we put together. There's a lot more that we can do here, but here's kind of two basic ones. On the left-hand side, you've got a very simple strategy, Bitcoin and Ethereum. This is just a buy and hold, not do too much about it. The right-hand side, you've got a little bit higher than just beginner. We've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Lido, which is a liquid staking asset. So it helps you stake your Ethereum. On Ethereum, you don't need 32 ETH, so you can earn return. You basically earn a yield on your investments. Polygon, which is a layer 2 solution, so it helps scale Ethereum and makes Ethereum faster. I actually own Polygon personally. Arbitrum is something very similar, another layer 2 solution. And then you've also got Solana, which is an Ethereum competitor. So here's just a couple of portfolio strategies you can use. We've got a lot more mock portfolios that we work with our clients, but a couple of just basic ones. But note here that the bigger allocation of Bitcoin, Ethereum, we think is important because we think that has the least volatile risk. So the least downside risk and the biggest upside potential. One of our members here, Callum, he's a busy guy. He's just recently had kids. He works full time, and he joined Collective Shift. And he increased the size and quality of his portfolio because as someone that's full time, he's very time poor. So there's a lot of crap information out there on the internet, and Collective Shift saves him a lot of time. The trust and veracity of the information that they provide has really helped him with his Bitcoin strategy. Now, how have we helped him with that Bitcoin strategy? We do a lot of research on specific altcoins and cryptocurrencies. That's our bread and butter. So I'm going to share with you 3 sectors that our team have analyzed for you tonight. Nice. These areas that we think have potential in the next bull market from a fundamental perspective, but also a narrative perspective, because narratives are really important in crypto because a lot of retail investors invest on narratives. And we think these have the biggest potential that you should be looking at. So liquid staking is one area. As I mentioned before, Lido. So with Ethereum, you can basically earn a yield on your investments by staking your Ethereum. But for most people, you actually need 32 Ethereum to invest and earn a yield to stake. 32 ETH is worth approximately $64,000 minimum. Now with liquid staking, you don't need to have that amount to start off. You can actually join and join others to stake together without needing 32 Ethereum. So Lido and Rocket Pool are 2 leading players in the space there, which I definitely consider checking out. The next section is a Ethereum scaling solution. So we're very bullish on Ethereum. Ethereum is the new app store of decentralized computing and software building. So a lot of companies are building programs, games, companies on top of Ethereum. And these 3 assets here, Optimism, Arbitrum, and Polygon, are all helping scale the Ethereum network. It's basically allowing businesses to run faster and cheaper on top of Ethereum. So we were pretty early in Optimism. I'm an owner of Polygon. Arbitrum were really early on as well. And as these improve over time, they're going to continue to derive value. And the third sector here that we're looking at is gaming. Now, gaming, I think, has a really big potential. Basically, if we think about gaming and people that are playing, console games, those that invest money, if we think about the younger generation that invest money or their parents' money into, upgrading their skins and their character, all of those assets live and die in the game. So as you turn off Fortnite, that's it. That all the characters die in Fortnite. What they're building in crypto gaming is the idea where you can actually sell those assets. So if you build up your Fortnite character, you can actually sell that on a market, and you do that through NFTs, for example. So you can sell your assets within games to other players across the internet, and someone could buy those assets off you so they don't die within the game. They're actually interoperable. And that's one of the most exciting spaces about gaming, where you can actually, so the Web3 gaming is where you can actually start to earn money by building up and being a good player in some of these games. And those companies that are leading the space in the crypto gaming world are Immutable X. They're actually an Australian-based company. They're the leading platform where people are building games on top of. One of those games is Illuvium. It's an adventure first-person shooter game, and you can actually play Illuvium and earn actual money, which is kind of cool and exciting. It's the first real world use case of crypto gaming. And then you've also got ApeCoin is there. So there's three particular cryptocurrencies in the gaming sector that we're pretty bullish on. The other one I'll mention that I don't have a slide for, which is DeFi. I'm really bullish on DeFi, decentralized finance. The DeFi market cap right now is down around 95% from its all-time highs. The DeFi space has really been punished. And I think there's a lot of undervalued coins in there as well, which I'll show in a second. But the recap there, just to recap what I've gone through so far, is the altcoin sectors that we think have high growth potential: liquid staking, gaming, and the Ethereum scaling solutions, layer 2s. Creating a strategy is really important. We think it's the difference between winning and losing, and you had a couple of mock portfolios there you could look at. And also where we think the 4-year cycle is, why it's not too late, why we think now's the right time to get involved before the April halving coming up, and you have to wait another 4 years, because the reality is the market then retraces. We've just come out of a 2-year bear market in crypto, and then we're on the way up. And if you miss the next one, it's just another 4 years you'll need to wait. So a lot going on in the crypto market, and we'll get to, I think there might be a few questions in a second, but there's a lot of things that I would like to cover. Don't have time to cover everything. And you're probably thinking, shit, Ben, this is amazing, but I just don't have the time or the knowledge to do any of this on my own. This is just insane. I want to get involved. I want to improve my portfolio. Can you just help me? So tonight we put together a little package for you that will actually help you profit from the upcoming bull market without needing to do it alone. Because for most people doing it alone, it can be kind of a scary thing. So if you don't mind, I'll spend a couple of minutes on this, and then we'll jump to Q&A. So we've spent a lot of money and time building out our Collective Shift platform. As I mentioned, we've got about 1,000 clients we work with at the moment, across the world. And really, our platform is designed to help you give a quick glimpse, a quick actionable insights, the information that's most important to you. So as you come home from work, or you come home from family, or you're out and about, we're giving you the live updates, the investment opportunities, the insights that you need to get in front of the market. So we give you the strategies that we're using across our 6 world-class analysts internally that are working full-time to help you manage your portfolios. So as a member, you see our predicted market movements. You can see when we're getting in and out of the assets the right time. And you're also ensuring that you're not getting in at the wrong assets, or you're not getting in on the wrong exchanges like we saw last year with FTX. We warned our members about a week before FTX blew up to get out of there. So we're really there to help you navigate the markets. And our platform is really unlike anything else out there. We haven't seen anyone doing what we're doing. And there's really 4 things that make us different to others. One is you get a personalized onboarding call. So you actually sit down with one of our team, and we help walk you through your crypto goals, and we share insights that can help you grow your portfolio. You have to talk to a real person in crypto, believe it or not. That's not trying to scam you. We then do the decision on monitoring. So we're monitoring the markets for you, looking at the upcoming opportunities, and showing you those opportunities before the retail investors are seeing those, right? We're giving you the information that 90% of people aren't. We're then backing that up with a lot of the analysis and education. So rather than just like, you should get in on, this coin before it goes to $1 million, we focus on analyzing opportunities and sharing the reasons behind it with the fundamental analysis without all the technical jargon. So you don't need to be an expert or, have a PhD in finance. And the last one is opportunity identification. We're really good at finding those hidden gems, and our team of researchers use a repeatable, proven approach to identify those opportunities and give those out to our members. And you can see this here. Just quickly show you the platform. If you can see that. So this is the platform in the back end. And for example, here, if you're looking for, new investments in the market, we have a live rating system. So you can look at any altcoin that we've reviewed and see if we're very bullish, we're bearish, or neutral. And you can see the reasons why. Then you can even go deeper, and you can look into each individual asset, and you can see, you can chart it up here on TradingView. You can look at any of the research we've done on that asset. Then you can go and understand how it makes money, including our opinion on why we do or don't like that particular asset. And then we feed that all into your own personalized dashboard. So you can plug in the crypto assets you own, and we help you build out this strategy. and you can get it all plugged into your own personalized crypto dashboard where we give you personalized insights based on what you own. So you don't have to go out there and figure out what you need to listen to and who to trust. We give you that all here in your own personalized dashboard. And that's backed up by our 6 analysts putting out insights daily in video format, podcast format, and written format. Just yesterday, Matt posted his market predictions, our head of research, Matt, on the crypto market. So there's so much more. We do monthly Q&As with our analysts. There's a beginner's course, there's educational materials, there's a security center so you don't get scammed. There's so much information here, honestly. It's really quite, I'm really quite proud of what we built, and I wish I had this when I first started out in crypto, because if I did, I probably wouldn't have made the mistakes I did back 7 years ago.
You'd have that house for your parents already.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's definitely the way you learn. So, but yeah, keep going. I don't mean to interrupt, but yeah.
So, here's an example. So Nick, he gave us 5 stars, a platform for everyone. He joined Collective Shift with no prior knowledge of cryptocurrency, and through all the content available on the platform, he quickly developed a sound understanding of crypto. There are heaps of new content released every week to stay up to date with the crypto market, and he highly recommends it to anyone interested in learning, as there is content to suit everyone and all their experience levels. Or Tyrone from the US, he became more confident in understanding of the crypto space. Collective Shift has helped him be more confident in his own research and understand of the crypto space, reinforcing some of my thoughts, expanding others, and offers different perspectives. It's a solid place to get ahead and gain more knowledge of cryptocurrency. So look, you could do all this alone and navigate the market and try and, get your goals achieved. But we've seen this time and time again, the loss of capital with, the wrong investments, the time commitment. It takes 40 to 60 hours a week per analyst of ours just to cover the markets. Then you've got the risk of misinformation, listening to the wrong people online. You're not getting those opportunities before everyone else, and just the emotional mental stress. So as a member of Collective Shift, you're going to get all the research I just said, the dashboard, the portfolio strategy, all of our predictions, our insights, tutorials, monthly calls, community. It just goes on and on and on, all about getting you set up for the upcoming bull market. And Belle Brockhoff, she's a 3-time Olympian, 14-time World Cup medalist, pro snowboarder. She's a member of ours. She's been using Collective Shift since we launched, and it's the quickest summary of news she can get. She's busy. She's a world Olympian. So having the fundamental voices and opinion from a number of analysts is really the biggest difference to her. There's more, honestly, there's just too many testimonials to share here, but what I'm trying to get at here, guys, is, we're here to help you. You don't need to be an expert. If you are an expert and you just want to save time, we're here. And what we're offering here tonight is a 15-minute one-on-one crypto strategy call. And I've written call twice there, apparently, with our team. So what we're going to do for a limited time is offer the Ask the Pro listeners here tonight. We have a membership offering on the other end. Those that book a call with us tonight are going to get a really amazing special discount on our membership if they decide to go through. If you decide not to go through, that's absolutely fine. It's a no obligation 15-minute call. But at the very least, you're going to get a call with one of our team that's going to answer any questions you have on your crypto portfolio or what you want to do in the market. And we're going to just help you win. That's our ultimate goal. We just want to help you win. So you can head over that QR code or head over collectiveshift.io. And for those that book a call tonight and end up becoming a member, we'll have that special discount code that we'll provide on the call. And if it's not for you, we'll point you in the right direction anyway. So we've got that there tonight. And hopefully that's been valuable. Thank you very much, team.
Thank you. Yeah, really super valuable information. Everybody just get your phone out there, take a picture of that and go to that link. I mean, whenever you get the opportunity to have a free call with the experts like you are in front of right now, then you want to take advantage of that, because we've just been talking about how complex the whole crypto universe is. But this is going to make it simple for you and help you understand and what are your goals? How do you want to approach this? And not only for you yourself, because I know we've got a lot of listeners, like you've got kids. You probably have grandkids, how about getting them in on the right foot on this whole cryptocurrency so they understand it every 4 years and they're just banking and banking and banking. So a lot of opportunity. We've brought it to you in the best way we know how to try to simplify this. And now you have to take action. You have to take advantage of this incredible opportunity by clicking on that and getting to talk with Ben or one of his professionals that are there with that universe. They know a lot. They're professionals. Otherwise, we would not have them here on Ask the Pros. That's how highly we think of them and how much we think you really should go take that call with them. So, all of the detail, I know there was a lot there to digest, but that's what we're doing. We're breaking it down and then going to break it down even more for you so that you can get in the way that you want to get in.
Yeah, Celeste, what Ben said, I agree with a ton of that stuff. I think people come in to Ask the Pros and heard me talk before. You've heard me say a lot of the same points. And with 1.8 million cryptos reported on CoinMarketCap right now, you got to have a team to dig through this stuff. I mean, Ben and his team, they're going to do the heavy lifting, the research, and cater it to what you're interested in. I mean, that's unbelievable. I'm just one guy in my little services. I can only cover so much stuff, but Ben's got a whole team and willing to cater it to you. So that's a beautiful, beautiful thing right there. I'm considering booking a call myself just to see what they might tell me.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing about community, I mean, don't we all love coming here to Ask the Pros week after week, or the community type events that this company has available? We love coming together. And this is exactly what Ben is offering you here with the cryptocurrency world. It's an opportunity like no other. You get this whole global perspective. You get to understand all these things that we don't have time to go into and don't understand all of ourselves, but get involved there. I mean, you're doing yourself a disservice if you do not take your phone right now and click on that. I'm just telling you, you're doing yourself a disservice. You need to go there and get that. What an opportunity.
Thanks, guys. 1.8 million coins, Jeffrey. That's that's impossible.
That's what it says. I pulled it up right here. I'm looking at it right now. 1.8 million coins is what CoinMarketCap is saying today.
Yeah, there is opportunity there. And, we have top names like Tony Saliba coming on our program and saying what he's been saying about crypto and the involvement that he has and what he sees in the whole financial world, which he's got his hands on a lot of things. It means something. You need to pay attention. So we're glad thank you, Ben, for coming so much.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, it is time to go find out a new tool from Jeffry Turnmire. Turnmire is a good last name for this because you're going to get to see when that market is turning. And haven't we been talking about these market highs? Wouldn't you like to see when it's turning? I know I would. That's why I'm going to get there and be there with Jeffry. The link is in the chat right now, so you can go over there and be with Jeffry. He's going to be there just a few minutes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Garrett. Thank you, Jeffry. Thank you, Ben, so much for sharing your brilliant minds with our audience today. So hope you all come back.
Thanks for having us on, everybody. Bye.
Okay. Thanks.